Good morning, and welcome to the 12 Attitudes and Responsibilities of Mastery. My name is Michael Bailey, excuse me, and today is Wednesday, July 13th, 2016. Let's get started. Thank you for joining us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, for a more in-depth discussion of the 12 attitudes and responsibilities of mastery and how they can be used to create true joy, happiness, inner peace, and personal prosperity, both emotional and financial. Part of the process of spiritual integration of our higher selves for the expansion of our consciousness involves reprogramming the way we think. Our thoughts create our reality. The 12 attitudes and responsibilities of mastery, when embodied and lived, will help to change our thought patterns, thoughts that we simply take for granted because they are part of our programming. The changing of thought patterns actually changes the programming in our physical body and DNA. The 12 attitudes and responsibilities of mastery are crucial to understanding what kinds of choices lead to what kind of outcomes, and provide guidelines regarding choices that lead towards healing, unity, oneness, true joy, peace, and freedom from lack and limitation, qualities that are associated with true personal mastery. And last week we left off with aware, and awake, and so today we'll begin with able. Energy mastery is and will be a very important part of our avatar training. Holding our field steady and strong no matter what goes on around us is a crucial lesson for us all. An avatar is the part of yourself that exists in the fourth harmonic universe, which is dimensions 10, 11, and 12. So this is a very high part of yourself, one of your highest selves. Standing in your power. Events are taking place now that will directly affect the course of our evolution, both biologically and spiritually, for millennia to come. We are at an evolutionary crossroads, the outcome of which will be dependent upon how we conduct ourselves in the ongoing drama. Our participation now, as individuals and as a collective, makes a difference in what the future will hold. We are being asked to make a stand on behalf of our own worth, potentials, and freedom. If we stand up and be counted now, when this effort is most needed, we will emerge as a renewed and enlightened species, capable of co-creatively directing the course of our growth toward a happier, healthier, higher evolution. Are you ready to make a stand for all that you hold most dear? Christic races technically do not fight. What they do is stand. They stand in their power. You do not have to strike another, but you have every right and responsibility to hold your fields in a way where the living Christ within you and the part of God that resides within you is not decimated or harmed. Just like you would not let somebody rip a child apart limb by limb in front of you, not in front of me, you will not. Well, you have to look at yourself that way too. You are a child of the Christ. You are a child of God. You need to protect your own self, but protecting is not the same thing as defending. Defending tends to presuppose an attack is coming, so you almost attack first. That is not what we actually do in Christic terms. When we become aware of an attack coming, and this can refer to any type of attack, we recognize first it is coming from fellow portions of God's source that have forgotten who they are. We can recognize that not always where there's life is there hope of negotiation. There is always hope of return home, but there is not always hope of negotiation, and we will not allow ourselves to be harmed, but we do not have to strike or throw energy at anyone. As we build our Rachalet body activations, and these are portions of subtle energy anatomy, it will create natural deflection fields within our own subtle energy fields that will keep us progressively safer and safer. And it will also create a progressively stronger and faster Christic return of otherwise harmful energies that are directed at us. What that means is if somebody, let's say somebody attacks you psychically, and they spit their negative energy at you, whether it's in emotional or whatever, the Christic return means that those energies are going to come back at them in a reversed polarity, meaning if they spew them negatively, they're going to come back at them positively. That goes not only personally, but also collectively. We have a right to do that, and it is not an assault on anyone. But what are you supposed to do? Stand there and say, oh, I am not going to defend my Christic self, and I will just go back as space dust, because the person throwing energy at me, trying to compromise my fields, maybe trying to kill my body, might get hurt? Nice thought. And if you want to take the space dust path, you can do that. Nobody is saying you can't. But it doesn't accomplish anything. They're talking about being a martyr. And those are some of the things our races need to learn. We were like that because the subtleties of the mutation of our fields, that our fields carry, tend to make us feel that it is the spiritual way to be, the doormat syndrome. So you let yourself get poked full of holes to the point where you're almost fallen with the bleeding heart syndrome and bleeding field syndrome, because you did not hold down your own fort, because you were trying to take care of everyone else's. There is a balance in the Christ, where there is enough to go around for everyone. When we let other things walk all over us, and we do not at least hold our fields in a way that we will not be directly harmed by things that are trying to harm us, we are also distorting the truth of the Christ. The truth of the Christ from the beginning, when we came out from Source, had to do with action and consequence to action. We all knew action and consequence was a core of the Christic laws. You have free will. It was the only thing that balanced free will. You have free will. You can do anything you want. What God Source would like to see you fulfill, or you can explore the opposite expression of God's Source. Divine will is love, but you're free to explore the opposite expression of that, which would be hate, fear, things like that. Bottom line, whatever you decide you want to explore, you will have to deal with the core precept that is alive within the natural laws of energy here, which is action and consequence, action and reaction. What you throw out will create certain consequences in action and energy back. And something to ponder. Practice the physical act of standing tall. Put your feet slightly apart, knees flexed, shoulders back. Raise your head high as if there was a string through the top of your head pulling it up. Now slump. How does your body feel? What do you feel emotionally? Is your breathing easy or constrained? Now stand up straight and tall again and breathe. How does your body feel now? What about your emotions? Some affirmations or linguistic template reprogramming statements. I am tall and strong. I am the Christ. I am the truth of the Christ. I stand for the Christ, with the Christ, and as the Christ. Action and consequence. There are some who have become distorted to the point where they totally miss the point of how to use energy. So they continually try to attack. It is not actually helping when well-intended Christic races let themselves get shredded and walked all over trying to protect these types of people. It is denying them a memory of the lesson of how the Christ works in terms of action and reaction. And that is where all of our power lies. Whether you are on the Christic side or choosing to be on the other, if you look at something and feel powerless and the need for control, you are disempowered. If you recognize that how you choose to move your energy will directly affect what type of energy comes back to you, you recognize how much power you actually do really have. It is a lot. Though it may seem to be quite a paradox, you have the power to create misery or the power to create joy at any moment. It's literally a choice away. When we get into systems that are very convoluted, like it is here and in other false systems, it is easy to lose sight of the fact that because you have all sorts of people playing with that power on both sides, we can remember our empowerment comes from being responsible for the fact that if we act, it creates a reaction in energy. And if we change how we act, we can change the reaction in energy that we get back. Sometimes on the micro level, often on the macro level. If the universe is not sending you what you'd like to see, change your approach. There are different ways to move your energy. For example, if you're holding fear, fear will draw to you things to be afraid of. What you focus on expands. So hold quiet confidence in the Christ, and it will draw to you more of the same. What it all comes down to is taking responsibility for, to the degree that you can wrap your mind around it, your energy fields and what kind of energy you are putting out. We're in a situation where the following core notions are being embodied in this drama. What is reality about? What is good? What is evil? What is allowed in the name of God's source and what is not? And we probably would not be in this drama if we did not need a little bit of lesson on tough love on our own side to begin with. And some things to ponder. Are you taking responsibility for your energy fields and the kind of energy you are putting out? How are you using the power to create joy or misery? Are you creating joy? I think another question would be, do you know how to create joy? And some affirmations. I am a responsible creator. I am confident in the Christ. Recognizing our own I am presence. When we become spiritual, one of the biggest things is recognizing something called our I am presence. Now that is another word that is horribly abused in the New Age movement. I am this, I am that, and they give you a bunch of chants or meditations that you plug into a control matrix. You don't realize that this is what you're doing, but this is what happens. That is not what the I am presence is about. The I am this I am is realizing that you are a walking manifest face or spark of God. You are God. That does not mean you are the God of somebody else and somebody is supposed to worship you. It means that God is a massive consciousness from which we assume many individuated aspects of manifest expression. When we want to become Christed or godly beings, it is the process of opening up our remembrance enough to allow as much of that consciousness that is God that one God, that one consciousness, to become reconstructed sufficiently to enable that conduit to become fully functional once more. It is saying, let my will be thy will, but not to a fallen angelic, not to a guru, but to the one source that a part of you will always know is you as God. It is a presence and a feeling that as you work with opening it inside you, the words make more sense. There is a point in everybody's development. If you work with the I am this, I am concept, and get rid of the mistranslations, where you will find a cognition that goes with those words. And the cognition is what you are after. The words are just words, but the words will trigger the opening of the cognition. Try to feel for a moment. Try to feel. Try to say to yourself in your mind, I am a walking face of God. I am God. And see if you get any of this, ooh, am I allowed to say that kind of stuff? Because we have been programmed. How dare we say that? Putting ourselves up. Oh, we are on ego trips. No, it is not about that. You need to be able to say to yourself, if you're going to start acting like an angelic human, if you're going to start acting like an avatar or a master or a spiritually actualized being, you need to be able to say, I am this. I am God. I am a manifestation of God. Some things to ponder. Try saying, let my will be thy will. And let it resound within your body. How does your body react? Now try saying, I am a manifestation of God. Allow yourself now to just breathe those thoughts. This week, try working with the I am this, I am concept. As you speak, allow the words to resonate throughout your body and try to really feel them in some suggestive affirmations. I am a walking face of God. I am God. I am this. I am. This is pretty powerful stuff when you really get down to it. How to act versus react. Is your inner guidance making you act angry, self-righteous, and judgmental towards others? Is it making you think that you are maybe more spiritual than someone else? Have a bigger or smaller mission than someone else? Are you perhaps projecting your idea of what Christ consciousness and unconditional love is onto others and judging them by implication? If internal input raises a flag, take a moment and do what the speakers do. 1, resist the 3D knee-jerk reaction program that says you must do anything right here, right now. 2, feel into the input. Does the frequency signature really feel like yours? Use synocracy. Try running it by a few loving, trusted, objective friends and see what their thoughts are regarding what you are feeling, and evaluate what they have to say. 4, check your feelings and actions with the attitudes and responsibilities of mastery to see if there is an alignment there. These will help keep the ego in check and help you figure out what is truly divine guidance and what is not. Denial. It isn't just a river in Egypt. Direct personal energies for the highest and most expansive probabilities. Light, or enlightenment, and love are the keys by which evolution will move onward to higher things. But light, love, and a refusal to acknowledge the existence of the counterforce will always leave one open to the influence and power struggle with that counterforce. Unity consciousness represents the healing of polarity consciousness. You cannot bring polarity into unity if you refuse to acknowledge one of the poles. This refusal to acknowledge duality leaves the well-intended spiritual seeker as fair game to interdimensional forces of counterproductive manipulation. And there are many of them out there, and they're just waiting to trick you. Light, love, and cluelessness attitudes, or the refusal to acknowledge the whole picture, are dangerous, both on Earth and within the multidimensional scale. When the negative polarity is acknowledged and understood without fear, one can then learn what is needed to transcend its influence, to become a healing force through which the light and the shadow are united into a higher order of wholeness. Denial is the difference between light, love, and awareness, and light, love, and cluelessness. What she's talking about here is there are many, I've met many in the New Age movement who go around believing that they can just bring love and light to everything and we'll just love and light everything away. And this is the love, light, and clueless attitude she's referring to. I've encountered it many times. Something to ponder. Are you perhaps denying that there is a counterforce to the Christ manifest in your world? Can you be the silent witness to the dramas playing out around you and not get involved? Where are you directing your personal energies? And some affirmations. I focus now on my relationship with Source comes first. I now direct my personal energies for the highest and most expansive probabilities. I am my heroic self now. Walking the talk of enlightenment. Our personal and collective empowerment will not come through denial or becoming lost within fear and confusion. We are capable of creating our own salvation. Part of our empowerment will come from mastering the spiritual dimensions of our being, which represent the higher dimensional portions of our personal and collective anatomy. The other part of our empowerment will come through understanding the natural laws of energy as they apply to a multidimensional system. For within this understanding, we will come to comprehend the mechanics by which we, as people, evolve, and the intrinsic methods by which planets and universes evolve. Through such knowledge, we will become the multidimensional beings we were long ago designed to be, and we will gain the power to protect ourselves and others from detrimental influences from within ourselves and within the interdimensional scale. Through understanding ourselves, we will come to understand the light and the darkness as it manifests within the macrocosm and microcosm, and we will be able to perceive beyond the shadows to the point of healing and union. The programs sponsored by the guardian races of higher evolution are intended to assist us in creating such empowerment for ourselves, so we may join them within the light of higher knowing, so we too may become a force for healing within the intergalactic spectrum. Replacing our old, limited, fear-based, three-dimensional paradigms and the denial they generate with the paradigms of multidimensional reality that have been the foundations of truth for eons long past will bring us into an enlightened future. Redefining our paradigms by working with the attitudes and responsibilities of mastery and putting our new ideas into action will open us to a greater understanding of ourselves, the universe, and the source of creation, allowing us to enter the frontiers of higher evolution. Something to ponder. In what ways are you creating your own salvation? What do you do on a daily basis to master the spiritual dimension of your being? And some linguistic template reprogramming statements. I am a multidimensional being. I am a powerful Christic being and can protect myself always and in all ways. I am a Christic force for healing within the intergalactic spectrum. I am this. I am. The gift. We have come offering only truth, accurate information, Christic knowledge, knowing innocence and unconditional divine love for all of creation. As we return to you the option of reclaiming your original freedom, dignity, and power. This is a quote from two individuals of what's called the Eoni Eka Council. The motivation, therefore, the Eoni. The motivation of the Eoni for returning to our world information that once belonged to the indigo and angelic human guardian races of Earth is now, as always has been, unconditional love and respect for our species. Their unconditional love and respect for the indigo and angelic human races of Earth are born of their reverent and ongoing remembering of a commonly shared, noble healing mission that our races and theirs have long shared, but which Earth races have long forgotten. They initiated contact in our generation in order to assist us in awakening to the blessed selves that we are, so that we would have the opportunity to finally fulfill and thus in completion release ourselves from and have the opportunity to renew a sacred promise that our races once made as planetary guardians in loving service to God's source. The Eoni gave us a great gift by returning the MCEO, the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, Inner Christ teachings to the people on this planet. From these teachings, we are learning to recognize that truthful sharing and sincere communication are the only means by which true unity and transcendence of polarity consciousness can be achieved. This decision is entirely up to each of us. Many of us have received this gift of intervention and knowledge with the reciprocal gift of divine grace and love, recognizing that it is a gift, recognizing that no one owed it to us, recognizing that a common gratitude and simple appreciation for a loving kindness extended is an appropriate reaction to this gift in terms of Christic spiritual etiquette. We have recognized the true motivation of absolute and unconditional love for us, as well as for those fallen races that have chosen and continue to choose to remain in their self-created imprisonment. Most importantly, we have applied the gift of knowledge in a way that has passed it on to others unaware, as through our trust in the integrity of the universal Christic truths and application of the Christic spiritual technologies contained within our returned ancient knowledge, we have gifted planet Earth and much of its life field with an evolutionary option of Christic regenesis and healing. This evolutionary option is being returned now to our universe, but would have been lost forever to the probability timeline of Earth within which we currently reside, if the Eoni had not extended cooperation to the Christic races who have tried to assist our world. In passing their gift on, we have also given many more gifts unto ourselves, to those you love, and to many others that you may never know. Many of us fully understand and appreciate the gift of knowledge the Eoni have offered to us. We recognize it for the gift that it is, a kindness extended to us out of the deepest unconditional love, through which we have regained an opportunity that we ourselves had lost to reclaim our original God-source gift of free will choice, and the Christic knowledge through which free will can be applied by us to heal and set ourselves and our planet free. Some things to ponder. How do you contribute to truthful sharing and sincere communication so that true unity and transcendence of polarity consciousness can be achieved? Today, practice coming from a state and feeling of divine grace, love, gratitude, and appreciation when you communicate with others. Some suggested affirmations. I claim my original freedom, dignity, and power now. I am divine love and grace now. This is a long section, so I think I'm going to stop here for today, make it a little short today. And these are techniques that as we work through this information, it's talked a lot about techniques, and I'll save these for next week, so we can start with this next week. Any comments or questions before I close this out? Hi, Kelly.
No, thanks very much, Michael.
You're very welcome. Okay, well, we'll see you next week then.
All right, aloha.
Okay, bye-bye. Let's see.